Farm News Media presents Farm News 5.
We did a first-hand reenactment today of seeing how a victim might become engulfed, and then we constructed a coffer dam around them.
The number of grain-related entrapments and engulfments is on the rise. Michigan Farm Bureau is conducting an ag labor survey, and Michigan Ag Commodities' Chris Betts has a look at market activity. I'm Janelle Brose, and this is Farm News 5.
Farm News 5 is brought to you by Ford.
22 seconds. That's all the time it takes to be completely covered inside of a bin. Suffocation from engulfment is a leading cause of death in grain bins, and the number continues to rise. However, these fatalities are preventable, which is why Michigan Agricultural Commodities hosted safety trainings during Stand Up for Grain Engulfment Prevention Week of Awareness.
Today, MAC company-wide is highlighting Grain Engulfment Prevention Week, which we are taking time out of our week to cease work and learn about grain engulfment, what to prevent grain engulfments, and if one were to occur, how we can extract a victim. Some of the key points from the day is obviously number one is don't go into a grain bin if you don't have to. If there's ways to conduct the business that you would want to do in the bin some other way, certainly that would be preferred. But if you do have to go into the bin, make sure that you have multiple people involved with the bin entry. Make sure that the individual going into the bin has a harness on and a lifeline attached to them. In addition to having being in direct line of sight with the entrant, have radio contact with them, and have a plan and communicate that plan clearly with all those who are involved. Know that MAC has trained staff and equipment if somebody were to become engulfed. MAC wants to be a resource to the community, and we also want to encourage everyone to do it safely.
Look for more information on grain bin safety in Monday's edition of the E-News. Michigan Farm Bureau's Great Lakes Ag Labor Services is conducting a farm labor survey. The results of the survey will initially be used to identify labor needs and develop solutions to the farm worker shortage. From there, the results will be used to leverage and motivate congressional action on immigration reform.
So we're looking at gathering more information from our members and generally farmers in agriculture about what other labor needs they have. So the survey includes breakdown of what your major operation is in terms of greenhouse or field crops or dairy, that type of thing, what your major enterprise is. Are you looking for seasonal or full-time year-round employment? What are the training needs that you might have for those workers? What are some of the issues around being able to have qualified, skilled workforce? And it's really going to be designed to help Michigan Farm Bureau address some of those future labor needs. We're also looking for people that are willing to partner with us, maybe do some focus groups, maybe test some platforms that we're looking at. So it's really going to help guide Michigan Farm Bureau and our resources and how we take the next steps to address Michigan ag labor needs.
A link to the survey can be found at michiganfarmnews.com.
Solar Land Use Agreements 101. Learn what you need to know from energy attorney Scott Story at fosterswift.com.
Michigan Farm Bureau has announced the winners of the 2018 Young Farmer Awards. Brian Heffron of Heffron Farms and Heffron Farms Markets in Kent County is this year's Achievement Award recipient. The Excellence in Agriculture Award goes to Teresa Sissung. Teresa works as the Advocacy and Outreach Director for the Corn Marketing Program of Michigan. Christy Kylan has earned the Agriculture Leader Award. Christy is a fourth-generation dairy farmer milking approximately 450 cows on her family's Clinton County farm. The Agriculture Employee Award goes to Lindsay Earle. Lindsay is employed as a member representative with Michigan Milk Producers Association. All finalists and award recipients will be recognized at Michigan Farm Bureau's 99th annual meeting in November. With a look at the latest market activity, here is Michigan Ag Commodities' Chris Betts.
Thanks, Janelle. Beans performed well this week in the face of trade tension between the U.S. and China. Rhetoric from both sides has been more positive late, which has helped ease trader worry and support beans back from last week's lows. An active export wire also lent support, interestingly including sales to Argentina. Corn has been propped up this week near the top of recent ranges as U.S. plain hasn't had a gangbuster start. Another cold weekend for the Midwest and storms to the south should lend itself towards a positive tone heading into next week. Ethanol margins look to remain positive, which will encourage production lending additional support. Chicago wheat has felt support from Kansas City and Minneapolis, but big world stocks are limiting potential rallies. Chicago spreads are reflecting as such, adding carry as commercials turn more bearish. U.S. exports are running 15% below last year, with stiff competition from Russian offers. For more market information, go to michag.com. With Michigan Agricultural Commodities, I'm Chris Betts.
For more news and video, visit MichiganFarmNews.com and the Michigan Farm Bureau channel on YouTube. With Farm News 5, I'm Janelle Gross. Have a great week of farming.